Sabine Richter never imagined that accepting a wedding invitation in Egypt would change her life forever. At 52, this retired nurse from Düsseldorf had spent 3 decades caring for others, sacrificing her own dreams of travel. After her divorce was finalized 2 years prior, she finally felt free to explore the destinations she had only seen in magazines. "I finally have the chance to live for myself," was her constant refrain to friends. After 25 years of marriage to Klaus, a strict accountant who saw international travel as a waste, she was determined to enjoy her freedom. The divorce was bitter but fair. She kept the house in Überkassel and a considerable portion of their shared retirement fund. The invitation came from Fatima, a 28-year-old Egyptian woman Sabine had met 3 months earlier in a Facebook group named German Women Traveling in Egypt. Fatima presented herself as a Cairo-based tour guide, fluent in German, specializing in showing European visitors the real Egypt. Her profile was filled with photos of a beautiful, smiling young woman alongside tourists at the pyramids. "My dear Sabine," Fatima wrote in near-perfect German, "I invite you to something very special." The invitation was to her cousin Ahmed's traditional, 3-day wedding in Luxor, an experience tourists rarely witnessed. "You will experience true Egyptian culture," Fatima promised, assuring Sabine she would be treated as family. The offer was irresistible because of its carefully planned details. Fatima had studied Sabine's social media, learning of her interest in ancient history, passion for photography, and recent separation. "After everything you've been through, you deserve a magical trip," she wrote in one of their many private messages. For Sabine, who had felt lost post-divorce, Fatima became an attentive listener, offering encouragement and stories of other German women who had found new life in Egypt. "The land of the pharaohs heals broken hearts," she would say. Their conversations evolved from tourism to personal confidences. Fatima seemed genuinely interested, asking about Sabine's nursing career, her adult children living in other cities, and her post-divorce finances. "You are a strong woman. You deserve all the good things in life," she constantly praised. The official invitation included all details a careful person like Sabine would need. The flight, a tradition, would be paid for by the groom's family, and she would stay at their Luxor home for an authentic experience. "You will be like my German sister," Fatima vowed. Sabine conducted due diligence, researching trips, reading forums, and consulting her doctor for vaccinations. Everything seemed legitimate. Fatima sent family photos, pictures of the house, and even a video of the bride preparing. Her friends were divided. Her best friend Petra thought it adventurous, while the more cautious Ingrid asked uncomfortable questions. "How well do you really know this, Fatima?" But Sabine was determined. "I'm 52, not 25. I can take care of myself." What Sabine did not know was that Fatima had been studying her profile for weeks. The young woman knew where Sabine worked, her children's names, Thomas and Lisa, about her mother's inheritance, and, crucially, had identified all the signs of emotional vulnerability she sought in potential victims. Fatima was not who she claimed to be. Her real name was Noura Hassan, 31, and she was part of an organized network that perfected the process of identifying, luring, and exploiting emotionally vulnerable European women. The Facebook group was a hunting tool run by 5 individuals using fake profiles. The family in the photos was real but unrelated to Noura. Their images were stolen from other social media profiles. The Luxor wedding existed but was not the intimate family event promised. 3 days before the trip, Fatima sent an urgent message. "Sabine, my dear, a small change of plans due to family issues." The wedding was moved to Esna, a smaller town 50 kilometers south of Luxor. "It will be even more authentic," she assured. Thrilled, Sabine saw no issue. She photographed her passport and sent it to her son, Thomas, with the message, "Your mother is finally taking her dream trip." On the morning of March 15th, Sabine flew to Cairo. At the airport, she took a smiling selfie and posted it online. "Finally, Egypt, here I come." She could not have known this would be one of the last smiling photos her family would see for months, and that at that moment, Fatima was messaging accomplices. "The German is arriving today. Everything is ready." After landing, Sabine searched for Fatima in the arrivals area in vain. Her calls went to voicemail. Then, A friendly young man named Omar approached, speaking accented German. He introduced himself as Fatima's cousin, explaining a family emergency had taken her to the hospital. Her mother is very sick, he said with a worried expression. The story seemed plausible, as Omar knew personal details about Sabine that only Fatima could have shared. Omar's car was a relatively new sedan. He was the perfect guide initially, stopping for photos and teaching her Arabic phrases. But his questions grew intrusive, about her pension, the value of her house, and her children. When they stopped for dinner, he asked if she had brought gift money. Sabine mentioned she had 500 euros in cash plus credit cards. Inconsistencies emerged. Omar fumbled details of the mother's illness and seemed tense on phone calls. The route they took later did not match Sabine's map. A shortcut, Omar claimed. They arrived not in historic Esna, but in a poorly lit area of simple houses. The house was a faded, two-story concrete building. Two veiled women, introduced as aunts, barely acknowledged her. Her room was small, with a simple bed and a window with metal bars. "For your safety," Omar said. He left, promising to return with Fatima in the morning, but his tone now sounded threatening. Alone, Sabine found no cell signal or Wi-Fi. She heard arguing in Arabic downstairs and later, the sound of Omar's car driving away. The lights went out, leaving her alone with strangers. "What have I done?" she whispered, chilled by real fear. The next days brought more confusion and fear. Fatima never appeared. Omar's demeanor turned cold. The wedding was postponed, and when Sabine suggested leaving for a hotel, Omar became agitated. That would be a great insult. During a rushed tour, Sabine realized they were not in Esna at all. Omar constantly monitored her, preventing her from speaking to other tourists. His questions became more specific about her money and assets. Back at the house, Sabine heard the women call Omar sir and refer to her in Arabic as the rich German, a phrase she recognized. That night, she tested Omar by feigning illness and requesting a hospital. He refused outright. "You're not going anywhere until Fatima arrives." It was an order. Alone, she connected the dots. The non-existent wedding, the absent Fatima, the financial probing. She was a prisoner. Hearing voices downstairs discussing money, passport, Germany, she realized with panic that Omar had kept her passport. On the fourth day, Omar revealed the brutal truth. "Fatima doesn't exist," he stated. "I am Fatima." He explained he was part of a network that targeted German women for their money. But then other plans came along. He coldly informed her that rich men with special desires paid well for European women, especially older ones whom no one will miss. "You want to sell me?" Sabine whispered, horrified. "Sell is a nasty word," Omar replied. "You'll have a new life." When Sabine asserted her rights, Omar was blunt. "Your rights don't matter here. No one knows where you are." He announced that a wealthy man named Mahmoud was coming to see her. "If he likes you, you'll go with him. That is not an option." That afternoon, Mahmoud, a man in his 60s, inspected her. Speaking fluent German, he commented on her age but noted, German women age well. He asked if she was healthy and, learning she was a nurse, grew more interested. "You will take care of my mother," he stated. Sabine pleaded, "I want to go home." Mahmoud laughed. "Germany is cold and lonely. Here you have sunshine, family. Why would you want to go back to nothing?" He and Omar then negotiated her price in English, settling on 11,000 euros. Mahmoud said he would return the next day to collect her. "Get ready. Your new life begins." That night was the worst of Sabine's life. She understood she was merchandise in a well-oiled machine. Omar admitted she was the 7th German woman targeted that year. Escape seemed impossible. No passport, no money, no allies. On the 5th day, a chance for escape emerged. One of the women, Amira, seemed sympathetic. Sabine worked to build a connection, showing photos of her children. Seeing compassion in Amira's eyes, Sabine whispered, "I mother too. Very sad, very afraid." Amira whispered back, "You don't tell Omar." Later, when Omar was distracted by a heated argument with other men downstairs, where Sabine heard words like police and German embassy, Amira acted. She rushed into the room. "You run now. Omar gone. Trouble for you." She gave Sabine her own veil to blend in and showed her a loose bar on the window. "Road there. Walk to Big Street. Find police. Tell them you lost." Sabine, fueled by adrenaline, climbed out and fled into the alley. Following Amira's directions, she found a main street and, with immense relief, spotted a police car. "Police, help me. German. Kidnapped," she cried, removing the veil. The officers were startled but took her seriously. What Sabine didn't know was that an international investigation was already underway. The German Foreign Ministry and Interpol were tracking a pattern of disappearances linked to fake Facebook profiles. Her escape provided the breakthrough. Her rescue triggered a major anti-trafficking operation in Egypt. Police raided the house, finding Omar's laptop with detailed profiles of hundreds of European women. The network, Desert Rose Tourism, used multiple fake identities to groom victims. Omar, real name Khalil Hassan, was captured a week later. Mahmoud was arrested in Alexandria, where police found 2 other European women in a state of psychological shock. The investigation revealed Sabine was the network's 23rd documented victim in 3 years. The case led to significant systemic changes: new tourist safety protocols in Egypt, training for border police, and increased scrutiny on social media platforms by companies like Facebook. Sabine returned to Germany on March 25th to begin a long recovery. She is not the same woman, but she is stronger in some ways. She now works with anti-trafficking organizations, using her experience to educate others. "If my story saves another woman," she said, "then this nightmare was not in vain." Amira, the woman who helped her escape, was placed in a witness protection program and later received asylum in Germany with her children, becoming an advocate against trafficking. The case of Sabine Richter remains a milestone, a powerful reminder that modern trafficking happens online, exploiting loneliness and vulnerability. Her courage in escaping and testifying dismantled a criminal network and continues to save lives through awareness and prevention.